Welcome to another episode of Zebec Network's Future of Money. Today I'm joined by Maurice Reichman and Greg Javins from Payro. Payro is a payroll financing solution that helps businesses cover payroll on time without disruption. By providing short-term, low-cost advances to employers, Payro ensures workers are paid when they should be, while giving companies breathing room to manage their cash flow. Now, through its relationship with Zebec and Paybridge, Payro is expanding its model into the world of stablecoin payroll and real-time payments. Maurice and Greg, welcome. I hope you're both well. Do you want to introduce yourselves very quickly and your roles and maybe add a little color to the Payro vision for us?
Yeah, well, hi, Ben. Thank you very much for having us. Always a pleasure. So I started this company in 2019. All by chance, I came across a business owner of a payroll company who was telling about his clients who need money through payroll. As simple as that, right? And then like, wait, so is there nobody taking care of that? Is there anybody to offer loans? You're like, well, I do now. I give those loans and I can't sleep at night worrying about when they pay you back. And he said, well, you know what? Then I got something. Let me try to do something. And that's where it started. The next step was do some research, and I went to speak to a potential investor and said, hey, I got this idea. And this guy then, before selling his company successfully, ran a manufacturing company. You're like, are you crazy? Yeah, of course. I remember those days he ran his company in the 80s and the 90s when he had huge orders to fulfill and when he got checks to clear. Like, oh, I know that pain. Absolutely. This is something we should look into. And that's where it all began. And we just discovered that it's commonplace, that it's a normal thing for businesses to run a business. They make your money on paper. Cash isn't in the bank just yet. And payroll, you need cash for, at least until stablecoin. But you need cash, right? You can't run payroll with a P&L. And that's where we come in.
I love that. Greg, did you want to introduce yourself, maybe add a little color to that in terms of kind of your role or anything else in terms of that vision?
Sure. So Greg Javins, Chief Revenue Officer over at Payroll Finance. Been in the payroll business for 20 years, everything from having a service bureau all the way through acquisitions and managing a team who oversaw 60,000 payroll customers. So when I ran across Morris and his solution, I said, there's a need. From having 60,000 clients, people would come and say, hey, my cash flow's tight. I didn't get paid an invoice. Can you float my payroll? Can you cover me just for a few days so this invoice is paid and I can pay you back? So I definitely saw the need. We've grown 100% year over year. We're going to be growing 70% year over year this year. So it's really validated Morris's original vision that he had and shown the need that managing cash flow in any size business can sometimes be a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, Maurice, could you then walk us through Payro and how it connects then to Paybridge?
Payroll, our entity is a lending entity. So we're a source of capital. We can provide capital to businesses. Paybridge, processing the payroll to businesses, providing that cash. While Paybridge will require the cash on hand to process the payroll, the business does not have that. At Payroll, we provide that capital. We're making the cash available for payroll before it's actually available in the business.
I love that. It's hugely important that that is the case in terms of the connection process. Like, how would a potential partner come and set up an account, so to speak, with you guys?
Yeah. So as a partner, regardless of how technically integrated you are or not, your client, through you, is able to be directed to us, apply for the loan. There's an underwriting process. They have to get approved to meet the criteria. But then once they're approved, they could log in online to their online portal and provide proof of payroll being submitted. And we will then cover that payroll. We'll wire the funds to their account the same day and ensure those funds to cover payroll. In a more integrated way, we have the ability to integrate too, where directly from your platform, they can get access to our platform and access their funds. But ultimately, you come from the same thing.
Yeah.
As soon as they're running payroll, they're able to log into us, access their credit lines. Hey, I need the money, and the money ends up in their bank the same day.
I love that. So important. Greg, earned wage access. It's broken for so many workers. How is Payro helping employers fund payroll faster and earlier?
So earned wage access is just not available. I don't know if I would say it was completely broken, but it's not available to a lot of workers. There are some companies that are doing it that are charging the employee for that earned wage access. There's a fee to the employee. So maybe in that sense it's broken, that the employee's having to bear the burden of fees, but At the same time, I know we'll talk about the future of payroll and where it's going, but in order to fix it, it's going to be that employers are the ones who are going to not necessarily bear the burden, but go with a company who's, I'm going to call it tech forward, that sees the need, that's done it, that knows how to do real-time payments, whether that be through a bank or through like stablecoin, as an example. So the earned wage access is really for the employer. So we help employers manage that burden of having employees have that instant access to funds by allowing them a line of credit that they can essentially draw against in order to cover that cost of employees drawing it early. As we talked about in the beginning, some employers are already struggling on payroll day, right? At waiting that 2 weeks, they're still waiting for an invoice to come in or something like that, and may have a struggle where payroll comes in. Well, payroll can fund at the beginning of the pay period, where as employees draw throughout the pay period, those funds are 100% secure and in the bank.
Yeah. And I guess from an employee like morale perspective, I mean, it's hugely advantageous, right? To be able to offer your employees access to the wages that they have already earned, as opposed to waiting to the end of the month when we know that things can get so tight for so many employees. So it feels like such a great progression that you guys are really helping businesses begin to fulfill. Let's pose this another way for you, Morris. When it comes to like innovation and keeping pace with the payroll market, there are obviously lots of businesses and platforms and protocols that are coming forward that are trying to kind of adapt how this works. And how are you guys kind of like keeping pace with all of that?
Especially with money movement, the payroll industry is evolving very much in digital world right now, especially with AI. Banking is evolving too, but banking evolves slower. But we're following all that innovation. And ultimately, as the ability to move money becomes available quicker, and the ability to run payroll becomes more digitized, those two things coming together, us plugging in the middle, means that a business could just process payrolls with just a few clicks and never worry about where the money is going to be. We're following closely where real-time payments is moving, and we'll be the first ones to use it. Unfortunately, it's not readily available yet, but we're following it really closely. We can't wait for the day when someone could just log in on a Saturday night just to get the money in, because through real-time payments, you can do that. So we're watching closely how money movement is evolving digitally. It's not evolving quick enough.
Yeah. It feels like we're at a real inflection point though, right? Because there's the weight of expectation from the employee, and it's the pace of the banks and the institutions to be able to fulfill that requirement that they're being able to see in so many other places, right?
Exactly.
It's really interesting. So here's a question to both of you. I'll ask Greg first, and then Morris, maybe you can close us out. What does the future of payroll really look like in the future? And you choose the time horizon for that. It could be 6 months, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years. What does it look like going forward?
Well, I'll tell you, going into it 20 years ago, I never thought we'd be where we're at today. So 20 years ago, people were faxing in pieces of paper with people's hours written on it, and we were manually keying it into a DOS-based system, and so to be at a place where employers are submitting their time online, the employees generating it through workforce management software, it's light years beyond where I thought we would potentially even be. I think Morris mentioned AI in his last statement there. I think with AI, you're going to see a lot more turned over to AI and payroll. And not just payroll, but the HCM space as a whole. So when we look at human capital management as a whole, I think employees will be emailing HR questions and AI will be answering those questions. And it'll sound like a real human talking back to them or answering them through email. You'll see, of course, the real-time payments, because as the society evolves, when people go out and work, they say, hey, I've earned this money. Why can't I have it now? My hot water heater just went out, right? I need this money now. And when I look back on earned wage access, I first heard the term maybe about 7 years ago. It was just that. It cost people around $10 per 100 that they were borrowing. It was only for emergencies. So that's how it was put out there. It was put out, hey, in an emergency, you can get access to your funds. So the future of payroll is instant. I've worked it. I want my money now. It may be halfway through the day and someone says, I need lunch money, and they are going in and getting the money that they've earned. I think a lot of that, though, I think there's going to have to be I think we're going to have to pivot as far as education of employees, too. We're going to have to add in financial planning. You're going to have to see learning systems that help people make budgets, because instant access and people taking it out instantly, doesn't necessarily leave a lot of money at the end.
Absolutely. Yeah. For some of those really big, important pieces, I agree. Morris, feel free to continue where Greg's just taken us.
Yeah, I'll add on that. You see everything, the entire digital world evolving, and then money movement evolving and becoming digitized, well, with stablecoin. And then what's evolving even quicker is that people's needs are evolving even quicker, like Ray mentioned. The days when after 2 weeks you got a paycheck and then let it go, deposit it and clear, well, that's gone. Now, everyone gets to make deposit. But we still wait time to get payroll. And people need the money even quicker and sooner. And this is all going to change. It's a matter of time. It's probably very short time, but everything's so centralized. When money movement can move so instantly, especially with digital coins moving quicker. The integrations of accounting systems, banking systems, a person can literally be on the phone one day. Hey, I punched in 10 hours in the system. I get paid $20 an hour. I have the $200. They can just go to the phone, check on the counter, put the phone on the credit card machine, and swipe their money. It's going to become like almost a digital coin. I think that's where we're headed.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? And when you look at how quickly that is progressing, it doesn't necessarily feel like that's even that far away, right?
No, it'd be like, hey, I work something, I earn money, it's in my bank account. Like, I have access to that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a crazy amount out there.
Well, look, guys, I wanted to thank you so much for coming up and joining me today. I think it's one of those necessary conversations, and it's very rare that you get to hear about an incredible innovation in payroll. People just like their payroll to be steady and secure. So to hear about a company like yours that's really starting to develop the way people get access to their money and those things work, that's really exciting. So thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I really appreciate it. And if you've got any final points on where people can come to find you as a business, that would be great. And then we can close out.
Yeah, so people can go to payrofinance.com. That's Payro finance.com to get more information. They can also contact me directly at greg@payrofinance.com.
Love that. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah. Likewise, thank you for having us.
You.
You will.